Yes, Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, in his viral interview, which he held recently with select television houses in Nigeria, claimed that Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023 presidential election, that he is a social media candidate. That was a very uncharitable thing to say about Peter Obi after knowing the outcome of that election. It's uncharitable because yes, Wike knows that it was Peter Obi that won that election. Even in his River State, independent tabulation of the result by the BBC and the Premium Times using data from INEC IRIF showed that it was Peter Obi that won River State, the state of Wike, when he was governor. And it took manipulation by the Independent National Electoral Commission and others in River State to turn the results in favor of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Look at it. In the whole of South and Southeast Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was rejected. So how did he lost in all the states in the South and Southeast. Tinubu didn't win any state. He didn't even get up to 25% in any state in the South and Southeast. So all of a sudden he comes to River State and he won. By the law of average, how could he win? It's not possible. And the result tabulated by the BBC. BBC has more credibility than INEC. Even Premium Times has more credibility than INEC. They said that the result they tabulated based on INEC, IRIF, should that Peter be won. That's who yes, we can say is a social media candidate. Social media candidate. Somebody who won the election. If not for the INEC deliberate switch off of electronic transmission of results. Am I the one that said it? Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information, under whose government that election was conducted, said that INEC deliberately switched off the electronic transmission of results. And it was alleged that it was because P2B was running to victory, they switched it off. So it's better to be a social media candidate who wins with integrity than to be on the side of those who win through rigging, through manipulation. So which one is more honorable? To be a social media candidate and win with integrity and win with honor, than to steal the votes of Rivers people and steal the votes of Nigerians. People are still confused how Bola Ahmed Tinubu was declared winner of that election. Nobody has ever won the presidency of Nigeria without winning Lagos, Rivers, and Kano. P2B won Lagos and Rivers. They stole Rivers from him. Tinubu didn't win any of them, but they gave it to him, Rivers. And the same Rivers governor at the time that stealing was done, saying that P2B is a social media president. No. He said that he likes backing those who win. No. He ought to have said that he likes backing those who are likely to steal successfully the election. That's what he can say. Then it will make sense. Because there was no basis for Tinubu to win that election. The APC performed badly, as they are performing now up to this day. The whole thing about Nigeria headed south. The economy headed south. The security headed south. Everything. There was no basis. No sane mind who said that APC should continue. So yes, Wike cannot convince anybody as any justification. The only reason he supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu is because Atiku Abubakar rejected him as vice presidential candidate. Supposing Atiku had chosen him, supposing, would he not have accepted it? With all the stories we heard from Dele Momodu, from Dino Melaye, how Nyesom Wike was lobbying to be made the vice president. If you know that Tinubu was such a fantastic candidate, why was he bothering himself to be vice president to Atiku Abubakar? That's the question to ask. In any case, P2B has shown that he remains a formidable candidate. Nobody expected him, especially those of them who think that they have all the aces, they have the structure. But he won the FCT that Tinubu is now begging Nyesom Wike to help him to win. P2B won in Hasda and won in so many other places. And he won Tinubu in Lagos with wide margin from what we heard. And this is the person that Nyesom Wike says is a social media candidate. It's better to be a social media candidate and defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu with a wide margin in his state until INEC narrowed the vote from what we heard. So it's better to be a social media candidate than to be a mainstream candidate who will lose in his state, who they have to steal votes in other states for him to win. That was why the European Union monitoring group literally rejected what INEC presented as the result of that election, because it was a sham. That's the truth. Look at it now. Why did the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu they attack the European Union monitoring group ferociously when their report of that election came out? Because they spoke truth to power. Because they cannot even understand how they got the figures with which they declared Bola Ahmed Tinubu the winner of the election. They say they can't understand how INEC got these figures. There was no transparency on how INEC got those figures. And you know how they did it? They did it in the middle of the night when Nigerians were asleep. So Nyesom Wike saying that maybe he thought he would belittle P2B by saying that. Nobody takes that kind of comment seriously anymore, knowing that P2B won the last election, knowing that even those who stole the election, their conscience is still prickling them. Lai Mohammed the other day was claiming that APC truly won the election, but he had to spend millions of dollars, perhaps, to go to England and US to go and convince the journalists there, foreign journalists, that the election was not stolen. If you conduct a good election that is transparent, you don't need to travel to UK, travel to US to go and convince them that the election was not stolen. Because they were. If P2B is a social media candidate or is a social media aspirant, why is it that they are still attacking him up to today? Why is it that APC that Nyesom Wike is working for now has employed arrays of attack dogs who are suffering from P2B derangement syndrome, attacking P2B right, left, and center? Why are they doing that? Because they know that P2B is the only threat. The man who defeated them in 2023 can still defeat them in 2027. That is why they are attacking him right, left, and center. somebody who is not in government, but he had more attack dogs against him than a sitting government. Why is that so? It is because he is much more formidable, much more loved than Tinubu, whom Wike is working for. So you can't say that P2B is a social media candidate, even ahead of 2027. Nobody can say that when you know what he did in 2023. And it can be replicated in 2027. This time around, the votes will be defended like never before. And the victory will be wide to the level that it can't be stolen again. Just like Donald Trump reminded somebody who asked him, he said, you protested in 2020 that your presidency was stolen, your election was stolen. Now that you won in 2024, you are not complaining that the election was stolen. Why? He said that it's not that they didn't try to steal it, but the victory was too wide and they couldn't steal it. So the defeat of APC will have to be too wide. And I hope the opposition knows it, the opposition coalition knows it. The defeat of Tinubu has to be very wide so that they will find it difficult to steal. That will be the final teaching of lesson to people like Wike who think or who still think, despite the performance of P2B in 2023, that he is a social media candidate. That's the way to go. That's my observation. I don't know what to think about this, but whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.